Okay, and we're reaching the end of the project now, or at least summing up the project details. Milestone 7, we need to have a good payment system. eLance has one, very robust payment system where a client can auto pay someone over time. We don't need to have something that robust, but we do need to have a payment portal where client credit cards are saved in a profile, and basically there can be one-click ordering of reviews in the future. Many times customers or clients are going to be returning more than once, and we'd like to make their experience very streamlined. They sign in, they can click create review, they can select the different drop downs and put in the data and then hit submit, and maybe have a pop-up that says you agree that you're going to pay X dollars, and then you click yes, and then it's done from the client standpoint. On the reviewer end, there's different things that could be explored. At least tentatively, I'm looking at having just a credit amount, whatever the client paid, go into a credit account that can be dispersed maybe 30 days later or more when a reviewer clicks request payment, and that would generate a paper check. The whole reason for that intermediary step that will obviously require a manual work on the admin side is that if a reviewer has had some kind of major issue with a client, we want to be able to negotiate that out with the client before dispersing funds to the reviewer, sort of our own escrow. So I think this has sort of completed our process, essentially just to review again to make sure that it's clear. The client's coming on the site, seeing a nice initial web page with various different reviewers, being able to search for the right reviewer, and then after they've registered, they can sign in and then select, essentially hire the reviewer and put in the case information. Case information will include a secure medical record submission either by fax or by uploading it. The disclosure form, once it's done once, just gets saved in that client's archive. Then once the medical record is saved, there has to be a notification generated for both the reviewer and the assistant, and then essentially the assistant is then starting to clean up that record. The reviewer is getting on and starting to create the review, and we probably want the assistant to be given 1 day, so maybe a delayed notice of 1 day to the reviewer after the medical record's been submitted. So at the end of the review that's done, the assistant's going to then spell check that, proofread it, and put it on the letterhead, and that final PDF review is going to go back to the client. And obviously there needs to be a notification to the client that that's done. So talking about add-ons, this is our last section of this talk. Alfresco is the system which seems to be the best system for managing these documents and being able to store securely large documents that there's going to be collaboration on. In this case, we're going to have collaboration on a document at least from the assistant and reviewer standpoint, and there may be some occasional collaboration needed with the client, but we're going to try to minimize that. So the add-ons that would be relevant, the PDF Toolkit add-on allows maybe the assistant to remove the useless pages in the medical record, blank pages, things like that. To add new medical records onto it, there's an append function, and to watermark the medical review with the doctor stationery and digitally sign that. So all those steps can be done in the background. There's also, I think, an add-on that we saw in the list of official Alfresco add-ons that shows how many pages the PDF is. I think that'd be very useful for the medical record when a reviewer just briefly looks over that right-hand margin and sees, you know, the medical record .pdf, that it shows, you know, 124 versus 24, 124 pages versus 24 pages. So we mentioned the rating system that is very desirable to eventually achieve, and there is a 5-star rating app on that's an Alfresco add-on that allows a client to rate a document, and in this case the document would of course be the final report. And if we could take that data and feed that back onto that front page so that the reviewers get their star rating, that would really make the client experience better. And we'd also like to be able to have the admin, if there's a large group of reviewers, be able to find the 1-star reviews and kind of look into that as a quality control measure. Eventually we'd like some basic functions for mobile interface, such as the reviewer to be able to view that pending and submitted case review highlights. So that would show, you know, what the case was and how they ruled on it. On the client side, they want to be able to view submitted case review highlights and those case reviews that are done. There was an add-on called Form Management and List Manager. These seem to create a custom form for web entry that feeds back into a document. We talked about, you know, feeding information from the initial web form A into the highlights form, so that may be useful for that function. Having a dashlet for YouTube, I think would be very good to have a couple of training videos, obviously done more professionally than this one today, for the reviewers and the clients for that matter. And also there may be times when there's video clips that the reviewer would want to see, and most people would be pretty familiar with uploading that information to YouTube. And lastly, the LinkedIn app, just to help as a more social connection between the folks that use the site. So I think with that we are done with the project description, and now it's just a matter of kind of looking at what each of the milestones would take in terms of time allotment and cost.